सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So you are doing the second chapter of the Gita. In the section that you have done, its main theme is Natvam Shochidam Arhasi. Here, Arjuna, it is not proper for you to grieve. So Lord Krishna, in response to Arjuna's grief, as we know, the first chapter of the Gita concluded with this description: Eva muktva janasankhe ratho avastha upavishat. Having presented his case before Lord Krishna, Arjuna sat down in the middle of the chariot. Visrudya sasharam chapam. He has given up his bow and arrow. Shoka samvignamanatha. He was one whose mind was completely submerged into the ocean of grief. So Arjuna is grieving. Grief or shoka is what became the cause of the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. And shoka or the grief is the primary problem of human being. That human being is grieving. He is unhappy, he is sad, he is depressed. This is the price that we have to pay because of our evolution. Human being is the most evolved of all the species. And therefore, he is sensitive, he is conscious, self-conscious, conscious of himself and conscious of what is around him, the world around him. It is the self-consciousness that makes him a sad person. Other creatures do not have that kind of self-consciousness that we have. Therefore, they do not have any complexes about themselves, that I am so and so. A dog or a cat may have some kind of awareness that I am a dog, and that I am different from a cat. That kind of awareness is there. But I am dog of such and such pedigree, I am dog of such and such, lineage. That kind of a thing is not there. As Swamiji says, that in a dog show, it's a huge show, and this dog is declared the very best among the whole collection. So at the end of the show, the winner dog is taken around, so everybody can see him. So who is proud? The owner is proud, not the dog. Dog doesn't know what is happening, Who is proud? Owner is proud. And those who did not win, who is disappointed? The owners are disappointed. Other dogs are not disappointed that we did not win the show. We did not win the prize. They don't have that kind of an awareness or complex. So this entertaining complex is about oneself, that I am so and so, self-consciousness. That I am a human being, I have this appearance, this height, this weight, this appearance, this education, etc. But the sense of individuality and who I am, very conscious about that. Nature also to compare ourselves with others. In comparison, I find sometimes myself superior to others, then I feel proud. Sometimes inferior to others, then I feel depressed. I feel inferior. All this superiority complex, inferiority complex, all of these are primary in the human being. these complexes, this self-judgment, judgment about his own self as to who I am. And also, always finding himself inadequate. I always judge myself and I have an expectation of myself as to what I should be. And usually, I find myself not able to live up to my own standard, my own expectation. So usually I do not satisfy my own expectation that I have of myself. And therefore, a certain amount of self-dissatisfaction or self-non-acceptance is there. I am not happy with myself. I am not satisfied with myself. Our Swamiji says, I am the problem, I am the solution. How I become the problem? The dissatisfied I is the problem. The satisfied I is the solution. So what causes sadness ultimately? Not anything around me. It is not what I have or I do not have, although I think they are the causes. If you ask anybody why you are unhappy, Swamiji, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this, or I have this, I have this. The headaches I have and this I have, so there are things that I do not want, I have them. And things that I want, I do not have them. So usually we conclude that the cause of my sadness is out there. This person is responsible for my sadness, that event is responsible, this happened therefore I am sad, that did not happen therefore I am sad, etc. etc. But really, the cause of sadness does not lie outside of ourselves, it is right or centered on the I. And that is my judgment about myself, opinion about myself, that I am not alright. So every human being suffers from this sense of self-dissatisfaction. And therefore, I am not at peace with myself. The reason why we have this problem in our mind is distracted, etc. is because I am not at peace with my own self. Because I am not happy with myself. Even though I take a vacation to be with myself, when you leave me to myself, I become restless. And I must engage myself in some activity or the other. And most of the activities we engage ourselves in are meant for escaping from our own self. Most of them are escape distractions. That's the most of your activities are. So discomfort with my own self, non-acceptance of myself, dissatisfaction with myself is the cause of all my unhappiness. It is not because I am educated or not educated, I am wealthy or not wealthy, healthy or not healthy, famous or not famous. None of this need to cause me any unhappiness. But whatever happens out there triggers a button here, I am no good, I am not adequate, I am lacking, I am wanting. It is that sense of lack or want, inadequacy that makes me a sad person. Maybe a human being suffers from a sense of inadequacy, limitation. So Bhagavad Gita, that is a fundamental human problem. And we are constantly seeking to become free from that unhappiness, free from the sadness. So our activities that we acquire something, we give up something, all activities are meant ultimately for releasing us from this sadness so we can be happy. So usually we avoid this problem. We avoid facing our own self, we escape from ourselves. Usually. And when Arjuna came to battle, he also wanted to escape from himself. When he found that the situation was very, very demanding, that it involved the death of the near and dear ones, which was a tremendous challenge to him, and he could not deal with that situation. He wanted to escape. So he says to Lord Krishna, Nayotse, I will not fight the battle. And he presented a very elaborate case of why this battle should not be fought. But ultimately submitted himself to Lord Krishna, saying that Karpanya dosho bhata svabhavaha, that my mind is overcome by this defect of Karpanya Krupanata. Meaning that I have not used my intellect the way it should have been utilized, I have not used my life the way it should have been utilized. I have always paid attention to wrong things. I spent whole of my life in attaining many accomplishments. Arjuna was a very accomplished person, but all worldly accomplishments. And I never paid attention to my real need. I was hoping that one accomplishment after another, from India I came to United States, from there I went to again college and I got a degree and I got a job and I got a promotion, I got this. Every time I kept on rising and I hoped that it would solve my problem. Thus I had this wrong understanding that something else or somebody else will solve my problem. But that has not happened. And I realized that I have not really given any real thought to my life as to what is bothering me or is something bothering me and what is the way of becoming free from that botheration. I kept on using the method of material or worldly accomplishments, hoping that if I become well known, if I become powerful, if I become wealthy, if I become this, I'll be happy, I'll be free from sadness, I'll be happy. That has not happened. In spite of all the accomplishments in my life, I find myself as unhappy as any time ever. And he wanted to escape. Lord Krishna did not sympathize with that at all. When Arjuna could not escape, then he had to face that problem. Normally, when we feel sad, we escape. We go for a movie, we go for candy, we go for ice cream, we go for something or the other, make phone calls, and social visits. So usually this is what we do. When we are not feeling good inside, then we find some activity to entertain ourselves. And we generally avoid ourselves. We don't like that self is unhappy, so I avoid it. And somehow I distract myself so that I don't have to face that. Arjuna also wanted to avoid that, but Lord Krishna was not sympathetic there, but Arjuna had to face himself. And they realized that I have not really, Lord, thought about this at all, or I have not done what is required in my life to really solve this original problem. And that's the reason why I am totally confused in this situation also as to whether to fight the battle or not. Dharma sammuda chetaha, with reference to dharma, with reference to what my duty is also, I am completely confused. Shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. O Lord, I am a disciple, I am surrendered to you, you please teach me. Yashreyasya nischitam bruhi tanme, that by which I can gain in this chitam shreya. I gain the ultimate good. I know that now and then I gain happiness, but it goes away, comes and goes away. I want happiness to come and never go. I want unhappiness to go and never come. That's what everybody wants. You want happiness to go and never come. Unhappiness to go and never come. Happiness to come and never go. That's called Shreya, Nishreyasa, that's called Moksha. That's what we want. So please teach me that by which I can get that. So Lord Krishna says, you are that. Hey, what you are searching for is you. That Nishreyasa, meaning that happiness that you are searching for is yourself. Understand, Arjuna, that if you really knew who you are, there is no in fact occasion for being unhappy. Unhappiness, sadness cannot even touch you. But if happiness is my nature, then what? How come I am not able to experience that? Lord Krishna says, what deprives you of the experience of happiness is that cloud of sadness. Therefore, the sadness should go for us to experience the happiness which is our own nature. Therefore, the teaching in the Bhagavad Gita immediately from the verses 11 to verses 30, those 20 verses are meant to make Arjuna see how there is no cause of grief. If you knew who you truly were. Lord Krishna says that the sadness or grief is the result of ignorance, not knowing who we truly are, and we take ourselves to be different from what we are. Natvevam jatunasam natvam neve janadipaha nachevana bhavishyama sarve vayamatah param. Lord Krishna says, Arjuna, do you know that never was a time when I was not? I always was. Arjuna says, you are a special one, you always were, so what? No, but there never was a time when you were not, you always were. Arjuna says, we are celebrating your birthday every year. How do you say you were not? You were born X number of years ago. And I was born X number of years ago. Arjuna says, there never was a time when I was not, there never was a time when you were not. So Arjuna says, I am something special maybe. No, there never was a time when all these kings and all these people here were not, meaning all of us were. Nachaivan bhavishyama sarve vayamatah param. Not only that, but there never will be a time when we will not be. Now, this is an amazing statement. Everybody knows that we did not exist before our birth, and we know that we will not exist after our death. But Lord Krishna says that you always existed and you will always exist. So our perception about ourselves and Lord Krishna's perception about us is quite different. I look upon myself as a mortal being, subject to birth and death. Lord Krishna says, no, you are immortal. But that may be so. But how about the birth and death? Even there is no birth, so there is birth, all right. There is death also. But birth belongs to the body, death belongs to the body, not to you. So here Lord Krishna says that, look, in what you say I, when you use the pronoun I, that's the ego. That is the union of two entities, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha means consciousness, Prakriti means matter. Spirit and matter, a consciousness and matter, that we are a union of these two. What is matter? This body, sense organs, mind, intellect, this is our personality, person and personality. You call it person, or in Sanskrit Purusha. Purusha means Purna, one who is ever complete. That Purusha, the complete being, the consciousness is one. Enveloped in the matter of the body, mind, sense complex. So what is this body? What is this mind, sense complex? It is a costume. The consciousness, the self, has put on this costume to play the variety of roles. Upanishad describes that in the beginning of creation, the Lord created all these costumes, all these habitats, all these body-mind complexes, and then He entered. After entering, He forgot who He was, and now He is crying and weeping. But who is crying and who is weeping? Same Paramatma. And so, who is a samsari? Who is feeling sad? Paramatma is feeling sad. How can Swamiji? Because of ignorance. So Lord Krishna described ignorance in the verses that you have seen. Ya enam vetti hantaram yaschenam manyate hatam ubhautau na vijanitah nayam hantina hanyate. One who thinks that I am a killer, other who thinks that I am killed, both of them do not know. Because self is neither kills nor is it killed. It is immortal. So one aspect of ourselves is immortal, other aspect of ourselves is mortal. You understand? There are two aspects of ourselves. One is called Purusha, other is called Prakriti. The consciousness and matter. So Swami Vivekananda made a very nice statement. I am not the body having consciousness. I am not the body having consciousness. I am the consciousness having a body. We think that we are bodies having consciousness. He says, no, we are consciousness having a body. Consciousness chose to have all these different bodies to play. Why did Swamiji Bhagavan do this? Why did he enter? Why did he create all this samsara? If he had not done it, all these problems would not have been there in the life, isn't it? I don't know why he did it. He himself, and he invited trouble for himself. He created this, he created the life, he entered here, and now he is asking, why did Bhagavan do it? And you have done it. But why, we have no answer to the question why it has been done. That it is there. This is where we are. But the fact is that you are not what you take yourself to be. You take yourself to be a mortal being, a small, limited, helpless, hapless creature. You are not that. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भवितावान् भूय अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. You are Ajah, you are unborn, Nitya, eternal, Shashvatah, undecaying, Purana, free from growth and decay. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. What gets injured or what gets killed in this body that does not do anything to the self, it remains ever free, ever unaffected. Like, for example, imagine there is a pot in my hand, See, the Vedantins cannot do without a pot. Anyway, that's all right. They must have a pot and they must have, because, you see, Shankaracharya was teaching Vedanta. What did he have? He lived in a hut, right? He must have a water pot and the water was filled. He must be wearing a upper cloth. So pot is called Ghata and cloth is called Pata. Ghata and Pata. So Vedanta, when you listen to Vedanta, it talks Ghata Pata, Ghata Pata. And rope and snake, another thing is that they must go to fetch water from the well. For that you require a pot, you require rope. So another thing is rope and snake. So all these Vrindavan people, Bhakta, they say, look, our Bhagavan, Lord Krishna destroyed everything, removed everything. Ghata means a pot, he broke them. Pata means cloth, he stole them. Rope, the mother tried to tie him with a rope, it was ever too short. Snake, he is dancing on the snake. So this is a joke, that how bhakti, doesn't require this ghata pata, etc. But no, without ghata pata we cannot do. So imagine there is a pot in my hand, in which there is a space, whenever any container is there, there is space within the container, isn't it? It's called pot space. Suppose you break the pot, does anything happen to the space? Pot is born, is space born? Pot is dying, pot gets destroyed. Does the space get destroyed? We call it pot space, space and pot. Similarly, this is like a pot. What? This body-mind complex, consciousness like space, unaffected by that. Hey, you are consciousness, you are immortal, you are free from birth, free from death. And if you see that fact, where is the question of sadness? Because all the sorrow arose because of death. So Bhagavad Gita is taught in the background of death, in the battlefield. Lord Krishna is where is death? Dehi nityam avadhyoyam sarvadeshu bharata. Hey Bharata, here in all the bodies, the embodied one is avadhya, is indestructible, cannot be killed. So who are you killing? Arjuna, you are grieving for the death. Whose death? Self is deathless, birthless, deathless, immortal. Your arrows na hanyate, hanyamane sharire. Your arrows can perhaps injure the body or kill the body, but not the self. So who you are crying for? You are crying for the destruction of who? For the Atma? Atma is indestructible. No, but how about my body? He is going to die anyway. What is born? Jatasya hi dhruva mrityu. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. The death is certain for the one that is born. And so this is born. So the death is certain. What's the use of tasmada pariharyase natvam shochitumarhasi? Lord Krishna says that there is no point in grieving over something that you cannot change. If you can change something, suppose in the morning the sun rises and you cry, weeping, oh, sun has come now. What is the point? Because sun will come whether you want it or not. Suppose in the evening now you are crying, sun is going away, it will go away. So there are certain realities of life. And you have to gracefully accept those realities. Birth is a reality, death also is reality. These are called the two sides of a coin, but dvandva, the pairs of opposites. Birth and death, pleasure and pain, happiness, unhappiness, success, failure, honor, dishonor. This will come. And therefore, tam stitikshasva bharata. Lord Krishna said, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino nityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. Here Arjuna, whenever you contact the world, some experience will happen. You will call it pleasure or pain, heat or cold, honor or dishonor, praise or censure, success or failure, something will happen. There is no point in grieving over something that you cannot change. Let things happen, let them come and go. Tam stitikshasva bharata. Here Arjuna, you put up with the things, let them come and go. They are all coming and going. So Lord Krishna basically gives the reality of life. How if you knew who you are immortal being, there can be no grief if I know that I am immortal. The body is mortal, whether I like it or not, that also is a fact. Accept it. So know the facts of life, accept the facts of life, then there is no cause of grief. This is what Lord Krishna is basically teaching in the first 20 verses of the second chapter of the Gita. Because the context is of grief, shoka. And our first thing that Lord Krishna addresses is how to become free from grief or shoka. With that brief introduction, now we can take whatever questions you have. You written down questions or you have some questions in your mind?
Yeah, they're going to start So in the classes, Swamiji, there is a lot of discussion around Satyam and Mithya.
Oh.
Okay. And we are not able to resolve the difference, right? I mean, we all are in the Mithya, right? I mean, we experience that every day.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we are being told that there is only consciousness, everything else is Mithya. How do we resolve this thing in our mind, right? I mean, there have been a lot of discussions in the class, but I don't know.
See, Satyam and Mithya, these are famous words in Vedanta. Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. Brahma is Satyam, Jagat or creation is Mithya. But Mithya means what? Mithya is a degree of reality. Mithya does not mean it is not there. Mithya does not mean it is bad. Mithya does not mean you have to hate it. Mithya means Mithya. Meaning, Mithya means that which is not independent reality, which is a dependent reality. So pot is not there, so let's take the cloth here, So, this cloth, if not ghata, then pata. This cloth is made of cotton. So how many entities are there? Are there two entities there? Cotton one entity and cloth another entity? How many entities are there? One entity. What is that? Cotton? Or cloth? What is it?
Depending on what it is.
Depending on the context, it's different.
It's a cotton cloth.
And then it's orange color.
It is not cotton cloth, it is clothy cotton. Really, what it is it's cotton. In the form of a cloth, but what it is substance. Because from this substance that we call cloth, if you remove the cotton, suppose we have a deal that one says this is cotton, other is cloth, you take the cloth, give me the cotton. Or Srini will make this kind of deals, that you keep the cotton, I will take the cloth. You take the cloth, I take the cotton. So here, the substance is cloth, cotton. It has a name and a form which is called the cloth. So cotton comes in a name and form called cloth. Here, the cloth cannot be if cotton is not. If you take away the cotton from this cloth, then there is no cloth. Therefore, cloth cannot be if cotton is not. But does that equation apply the other way around, that cotton cannot be if the cloth is not?
No.
Cotton can be in any other form. Isn't it so? Therefore, cotton is independent, cloth is dependent. Cotton is independent reality, cloth is dependent reality, cloth is dependent, cotton is independent. Right? So Vedanta says that cotton enjoys independent reality, cloth enjoys dependent reality. What is dependent reality is called Mithya, and what is independent reality is called Satyam. So in this thing, cotton is Satyam, cloth is Mithya, meaning that cotton alone appears as cloth. Isn't it? It is cotton that alone is in the form of cloth, or cotton alone appears as cloth. So cloth is an appearance of cotton. See, what substance is only cotton, isn't it? Cotton in the form of cloth, or cotton appearing as cloth. So what is cloth? Is an appearance of cotton. Right? Appearance is Mithya. And what is Satyam here? The cotton is Satyam. The cloth, which is an appearance, is Mithya, because cotton can be negated, cloth can be negated. If you remove all the strands from that, there will be no cloth, there will be strands, and from the fiber and the cotton. So that which cannot be negated is called Satyam, that which can be negated is called Mithya. In here, the cloth can be negated, meaning that cloth will fall apart if you remove the strands, separate the strands. But cotton will not fall apart. Cotton is the substratum, or cotton is in fact is a reality which does not fall apart. It is abiding reality. The cloth is an apparent reality, cotton is the abiding reality. Is that clear? So cloth is Satyam, cotton is?
No.
No? Oh, you are listening all right. So you caught the Swami. Cotton is Satyam, cloth is Mithya. But Swami, that is all right. Even cotton and cloth and a cotton pot, it's all right. But how about our life now? We are interested in our life. You say, all this Mithya, Swamiji? As I said, consciousness comes in the costume of this body-mind complex. Here again, what is this body-mind complex? See, if you take this world, what is the world? All different objects, right? What is an object? A name and form. So take any object and inquire as to what this really is. The Vedantic way of inquiring, a little difficult, but let me tell you now that we have started this discussion already. He starts with Mathya and Satya. People will fall asleep here. But what is Mithya, let me tell you. Just as if you inquire into what this cotton is, it reduces to cloth. When you really inquire into what this cloth is, you discover that it is nothing but cotton, right? If you ask what is this cotton, it is nothing but fibers. If you ask what are the fibers, they are nothing but molecules. Ask what are the molecules, nothing but atoms. Like that, if you keep on probing this inquiry, where will it ultimately lead? The way the scientists say, it leads to energy. But Vedantin says it leads to consciousness. So real substance is consciousness. It has taken all these forms. Just as the cotton has taken, becomes shirred and becomes panned and becomes all the variety of names and forms the cotton assumes. Similarly, consciousness alone has assumed all this. No way. Even scientists also tells us that what is called matter is nothing but the waves of energy. Right? So we say it is not energy, even energy also is a manifestation of consciousness. And so consciousness manifests as, or he doesn't know that we can watch him, It's alright, doesn't matter, I'm just joking. Let it be.
No, he knows we can.
Yeah, I know.
He was one of our group member, active member. He has gone to India, so he is tried.
But if Satya and Mithya means he's turned off,
Shyam, are you listening?
Yeah, he smiles.
He smiles, I know. Okay. So Mithya does not mean it is not there. Mithya means that it is not real. So now let us come to our day-to-day life. What is this day-to-day life? You are striving to become something. What if you describe what the life is, it is always seeking something, right? We are constantly performing variety of actions. And the purpose behind every action is to gain happiness, is it not so? Nobody wants to invite unhappiness. In the process of inviting happiness, unhappiness comes. That's a different matter. But we actually always want happiness. And so, what is our life? Pursuit of happiness, correct? Where is that happiness? We are seeking happiness in all the material things, whether it is in wealth or whether it is in, your position, your name, fame, etc. But are those things capable of giving me happiness? They cannot, because they don't contain happiness. Happiness is your own self. And therefore, mithya means look, when you are searching for happiness, it is not that. Like mirage water is mithya. Appears like water, but is not really water. That's called mithya. In the world, objects of the world, happiness appears to be there, but it's not there. Therefore, you are seeking to attain something where it is not. So how are your efforts going to be successful? You see, this one man is traveling on foot from one village to the other. It's a long distance, a whole day journey. In the afternoon now, at noon time, it is very hot, he is quite tired, thirsty, passing through the forest, looking for a place to rest. So he looked around and found a very beautiful lake, lined with all the trees. Very nice, beautiful, quiet, tranquil lake. He was very happy. He went there. First thing he wanted was to drink water and quench his thirst. And so he looked under the water to fetch some water in his palm. And what does he find? He finds at the bottom of the lake a gold necklace. Wow! He forgot his thirst, forgot his hunger, forgot everything. Gold necklace? He looked around, nobody to share. I will get it. He plunged into the water and got hold of that necklace. And it seemed to come in his hand, but not quite. He came up, plunged again, and again, and again. Every time that necklace seemed to come in his hand, but it would elude him. He tried for 1 hour, got exhausted, could not get that gold necklace. So disappointed, he still doesn't go away from there, he still wants that, he doesn't know how to get it. Fortunately for him, another traveler comes along and he invites him, come here, come here. So new traveler comes, says, what's the matter? He says, you know something? One condition, that I will show you something, but we will share it equally, okay? So alright, what is it? Come here, look inside. Oh, golden necklace. He says, yes. So why are you waiting for me? Why didn't you have it? He said, I'm trying since 1 hour, you can see my body is wet, and I will get it. So the new traveler looked up. That's called Guru, that gives a different perception. And found that one golden necklace was hanging from the branch of a tree, was getting reflected. However you try, you can never get. And so happiness appears in all the variety of things. We keep on plunging. From India to America, from this to that, from that to that, from an apartment, from to the house. Nothing wrong in any of the activities, understand? But the purpose with which we are doing that, these things do not have the capability of fulfilling their purpose, of giving me. That's why we are never satisfied. Regardless of how much we get, we are never satisfied with the things. And so, the happiness is mithya, what appears there is not there, like mirage water. Where is it? It is the one who is searching for. We had an interesting experience when we were in Kumar's place, I just had a brief visit there before coming here. And I was wondering, some sound is coming from, some kind of like a tingling sound was coming. So first they thought that it is the smoke detector and no. He says that wherever I go the sound follows me. When I go fast the sound also becomes a little louder. So he says, ask his son, Abhinav, you go and see whether something in the basement there, here, there, everywhere they look for. Did not find it. Finally we went leaving and then the sound was found. It was from his own clock.
That's why I'm not wearing it.
And who found Shruti?
His daughter found it, not him. He required a guru. So first lesson from Mithya is this, that happiness or success which appears to be in the material achievements is like mirage water. It is not real. The real success and happiness is in you, which is consciousness. Consciousness is happiness. Consciousness is limitless. Consciousness is success, and that is you. And that is where it has to be found. Otherwise, you keep on going round and round. Seems to be there, but not coming in my hand. So sound is there, but I'm not able to get hold of it. Because it is your own self. So this Satyam Mithya teaching can be practiced this way, that our priorities should change. That nothing wrong with life, nothing wrong with the way you are living your life, etc. But the priorities must change. So rather than my seeking happiness where it is not, I should seek where it is. Therefore, Lord Krishna says that instead of trying to grab, give. From becoming a consumer, become a contributor. You give, offer, serve, reach out. Then you're tapping into the happiness which is your own nature. Tap happiness from yourself. How do you tap? Open the tap how? How do you open that? By the attitude of reaching out, attitude of giving, attitude of serving, attitude of helping. So Satya Mithya teaches us this lesson first of all. That rather than grabbing, I don't say that you don't take your salary, that's not the point. But the point is that our Swamiji says that whenever anybody comes before me, the first thought in my mind is, how can I be useful to this person? When somebody comes before me, what is my thought? How can I use this person? So there are two ways. How to use and how to be useful. Thus, the whole attitude changes in Satyam Mithya. That attitude is what? Mithya is not to be acquired. Whatever Mithya is accumulated in my highest ignorance, the ignorance is to be given up. Ignorance manifests as ego, ahankara, mamakara, I and mine and likes and dislikes. That will be given up. So life is meant for getting rid of all these ragadveshas. The I, mine, likes, dislikes, they are in fact veiling the happiness which is our nature, and more you give. So in the process of serving, you are giving up this veil of ignorance. You follow? And that's how you are uncovering your own happiness. That's a lesson we have to learn from the Satyam and Mithya. How to live life.
Gita's
Desires is the root cause of all creation and suffering. How can we control and regulate this desire? Desire, change the desire from grabbing to giving. Change the desire from being a consumer to being a contributor. Think of those who are more needy than I am. and see in what way we can make some little change or contribute something in their life. At least if nothing else, wish them well. Think of somebody said that look, when you're watching TV, all kinds of stuff, all murders are there, and this is there, and this death, and this destruction. Sitting here, what should you do? Rather than keep on feeling sad, pray for them. Wish them well. And have this attitude, this desire, how can I be useful? Convert all the desires of how to use into how can I be useful. So that way, this is a desire that will bless us. Desire for contributing will help us grow. Desire for consuming, what happens is, why desires are cause of all suffering is because what is the desire? Desire to grab something, always. Consume something. But this consumption is like fire. More you feed into fire, the fire grows stronger. So more you feed into your consumption, spirit of consuming or grabbing, more it wants. And you are always chasing it, never able to deal with it, never able to fulfill it. And that's why there is a lot of disappointment in life. So, in desire for grabbing, there is competition, always possibility of disappointment. Desire for giving, no competition. If you give, nobody will compete with you. Isn't it? Everyone will cooperate with you. But that will change you. It is the inner transformation that is required. And that's what Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita teaches us. How to differentiate between right thing to desire from wrong. So what is right desire? What is wrong desire? See, desire to grow in my inner purity. God give me the inner purification. Please remove my raga dvesha, attachment, aversions. Please make me a contributor. This kind of prayers are fine. But desire, now you see there are two kinds of desires. One is whenever this fellow gives me this thing here, I cannot make a demonstration. That's the problem. But demonstration that our Swamiji makes, So, here is this man reading his newspaper one Sunday morning with reading glasses on. At that time, his friend visits him. So pushes away his reading glasses. Now I can't push away because of this. Otherwise I would have shown you. Push away the reading glasses. His friend stays there for 15-20 minutes, goes away. And he resumes reading the newspaper. He can't read because he doesn't have glasses. So he looks for glasses. Here and there and everywhere. And so many newspapers spread out underneath everywhere. For 5-7 minutes he struggles looking for glasses, does not find them. And the usual starts shouting, "Where are my glasses?" His wife is listening to all this and she doesn't respond. This is an everyday affair. But when she found that this person is really grieving, then she came and said, "What's the matter? What's the problem?" "Well, have you seen my glasses?" "What glasses?" "My reading glasses." Oh, then she says, "I don't know." So now she's having fun, You must have put them, regarding that, how can I put like this discussion is going on? Fortunately for this man, his 10-year-old son walks by, says, "My son, have you seen my glasses?" "What glasses, Dad?" "My reading glasses." "Your reading glasses?" That fellow is also surprised. He says, "Yeah, I can find out. But one condition is there. You must let me go to the movie in the evening, then I'll tell you where the glasses are." right here. So two kinds of desires. One is desire for what I do not have. Second is desire for what I think I do not have. Usually desire is for something that you don't have. Nobody wants what they already have. If I have this couch, I am not going to ask for the same. I may want something else which I don't have. So usually desires for things that we don't have. But there is also a class of desires for what we think we don't have. What is that? That is happiness. Happiness is not out there. So whenever desire comes in your mind, ask this question. Is it desire for what I do not have, or is it desire for what I think I do not have? What do I expect to achieve by fulfillment of this desire? Do I expect to be happier than what I am? Then that cannot happen because that's already to be found, that's only found with me. Yes, if you are hungry, then the desire for food is understandable. If you are thirsty, desire for water is understandable. If you are uncomfortable, desire for some comfort is understandable. So not that desires are all wrong. We need things to live our life. And desires are wrong. But of course, what we need also is something to be decided. There is no end to the need, understand. So keep your life as simple as possible. But still some needs will remain, and those desires are to be fulfilled is accepted. But desire for happiness or success is a desire for what I think I do not have, which I have, but I think I don't have. So therefore, desire for what you don't have are all right, if you really need it. And desire for what you think you don't have is not all right. Okay? She's following the same line, here. To live this life, we need certain material comforts. Where to draw the line? All I can say is minimize your needs, that's all. The house need not have 7 bedrooms. If you can do with 3 bedrooms, all right. You need not have 15 pairs of shoes, you can have a few pairs of shoes. And things like that. Here in fact we collect all kinds of stuff in our home, and then there is garage sale, These fellows are sales, and then they're trapping us, and we buy all kinds of things we don't need. We think we'll need it later on. And you never see them, then the only time you see is when you're selling them in garage sale. So, of course, we are the best judge to decide where to draw the line. But they said, fewer the needs you have, freer you are. Of course, we live in this society, so society has certain standards, society has certain expectations. At the same time, you cannot fulfill all the expectations of the society. You cannot always, everybody wants to be better than the Joneses, they say, So, what is this Joneses? The next door neighbor. If he has a Toyota, then I want to have a Mercedes, and if he has Mercedes, I want to have a BMW, if he has BMW, I want to have something else. So many of our needs come because of these complexes of comparison, and complex of not accepting ourselves. So see, if there are genuine needs, so fulfill them. And with this understanding, with this kind of analogy, you can decide your own line, where to draw the line. Okay. Next one. I see some papers there.
So I have a question that same thing that we get hang up in our class most of the time is whenever we talk about something, the karma gets into the place. So like even when we talk about Nasochikam Harasi, that time also karma comes. So I think for the group, just give a very high level overview of what the karmas are. That probably would help us. Because that has no connection with each other, but I think just for us.
No, I understand, but when you say that karma, what do you mean?